Good morning. This is Josh Hayes from Hedge Plus, and here's today's market monitor. I'm sensing a little bit of a shift, nothing too dramatic, but what I'm seeing is even though everything is weather centric right now, I'm starting to see weather looked at in a different light, not just completely all positive. I'm starting to see some negatives as well. For instance, where it's been so wet, places like the Southern Plains, Eastern Corn Belt, that's actually starting to pose some problems that are being taken notice of in the southern states like Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Kansas. It's been too wet, and now that's becoming a concern for disease with wheat crop. And then when you move over to the eastern Corn Belt, parts of the Tennessee River Valley, Ohio River Valley, we've slowed down planting pace to the point that we're now no longer ahead. And for the 7% of the U.S. corn crop that still needs to be planted, it's getting late and it's still wet. So that's starting to lead many to believe we're going to see a shift in some corn acres to soybean acres. And so I think on the whole, that would be a good trade for the market. I don't think anybody's concerned that we'll have too much soybean acres, but there's obviously the concern that we were set to have too many corn acres. So that shift is something to take note of. All weather's not bad. We're certainly far from that. For instance, the rain that they just got, a second round in the last 10 days or so that they got in Nebraska. Nebraska was showing some of the most advanced drought areas. So that concern has been eased. The Midwest has been in a deficit basically all year, even though the weather's been fairly good during this planting season. There's been a soil moisture deficit, and the Midwest is primed to receive a pretty good amount of rain here in the next 7 days with cooler temps. So, like I said, not all the weather is certainly not all negative, but at least there are some concerns starting to appear, and I'm definitely seeing a change in tone. What people are talking about, it's not all negative, it's not all bearish. The market's starting to consider that some of these things we've had could lead to lower yields. Certainly, the slowdown in planting has taken that off the table. We had not only good weather, but we had such an amazing planting pace. Everything just seemed like it was perfect, and we were gonna and not had nothing negative to price. And I'll get to this in a moment on the next slide with the weather, but there's also something popping up on the horizon that's going to get people to take notice. Real quickly, bean oil strength has been what's helped soybeans pretty much for the past few weeks, even months. And yesterday, we saw bean oil stocks at a very unusually low level for this time of year. So that should help support the soy complex here in the short term. Taking a look at the weather, it's a long ways off and it's far from a certainty, but definitely seeing more forecasters give a greater chance, I guess would be the best way to put it, of warm, dry weather coming up for the second half of June. So much so that there's even talk that it might prompt some speculators to try and get in ahead of it, to get in the market, get long in the market. So it's just something that's definitely getting people's attention. Far from a certainty, but a drier extended forecast for late June would be one of those disruptions that could help the market out here even as soon as this week or next week. The more models that line up that way, and the more people take that seriously, it doesn't even have to happen, but it can definitely prompt some speculation into the market, rather quickly. In the EU, higher temps expected for most of the EU. There's been a rain deficit in certain places like France, so higher temperatures there without rain would not be very welcome. In China, they say the forecast has brought some rain, but that is set for next week. So certainly a chance that doesn't come to fruition, but it's something for them to hope for and wish for. There's certainly I've read yesterday they've actually after the recent rains, it's gotten so hot and dry again that all the gains have been lost and then some. So actually, back to a worse situation than they had as recently as a week or two ago because it's gotten so hot and dry once again. In Mexico, southern areas are set to get some beneficial rain. Not been much talk about Mexico lately. The weather has improved there, and this rain will certainly help to improve that some more. Quick look at international cash prices. I wanted to include this today to illustrate we have narrowed the gap with Argentina on corn. They were considerably lower than us. Brazil is starting to bring harvest second crop, so that'll be coming to the market fairly soon. So enjoy it while it lasts, I guess, but still a pretty wide gulf between U.S. prices, soybeans compared to Argentina. In the wheat market, we're tightening things up there as well. That should help us. There was a bigger gap between us and the Black Sea, what was coming out of the Ukraine, but Ukraine is starting to have some issues. Saw that they're going to have to reduce. It looks like they're going to come in at 10% lower production levels on both corn and wheat. So our wheat is competitive now and looks to probably even get a little bit more competitive going forward. Taking a look at it overnight, up across the board. Very happy to see that. Hopefully this coincides with the gut feeling I'm getting that we've maybe turned a corner. And obviously we'll have to see if it carries through into the day session. But compared to the last 24 hours, corn is up about 3 cents since this time yesterday. Soybeans are up about 7 cents, and wheat is up about 3. That's all for today. Stay tuned for a broadcast from us for those who receive those with an important message today from Patrick. Everyone have a great day. Thank you.